let's go.
Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I was just reading my book for the book club.
Me too. I was reading War of the Spark, Ravnica. What were you reading?
I was actually just looking at pictures in the Magic the Gathering comic book.
I feel like that's even better.
It is. I mean, media to media, this comic book is 10 times better than that book. But we'll move on. What we have today is Team Cat presents Strixhaven Book Club. Chapter 2 is the second week of this tournament. I am Nathaniel, a.k.a. _Idia on twitch.tv, and we have Clausies, aka Clausies, on twitch.tv/Clausies. If you're not familiar with this little event, because it just started, it is a small streamer event. 8 streamers draft together, and we go ahead, and it's a single elimination. It's happening every Wednesday, so you're either watching live on all of the channels, or you're watching Undead on YouTube. Clausies, how you feeling about this week?
Feeling pretty good. We just watched a
No, we didn't watch that part.
We didn't
that
watch
part's
it yet.
in the future. We're cutting this part later.
Okay, I'm feeling very good.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think we're gonna have some cool drafts to do. I think we might have. I have a prediction. I think that we will see a Cody
Okay.
in our draft, and I think we're gonna see some thrill of possibilities.
Oh.
It's weird to say, but like I woke up this morning, I was thinking, just Cody was on my mind. You know,
You wake
so
up.
I'm expecting to see a Cody somewhere.
Expecting to see a Cody somewhere. Now, if you're watching, once again, these are all smaller streamers on Twitch. So if you're watching on YouTube, the link below has all of their Twitch names, and you can probably find if they have a YouTube there. They all probably have Instagrams. They all probably have Twitters. They all probably have TikToks. So, I mean, just follow these streamers. Some of them are a little bit bigger than the others. Some of them have 1 or 2 people watching. Some of them have 50 people watching. Some of them have 100 people watching. But it's just all about having fun. These are just chill kind of event. Now, we do have an event every Saturday that Team Cat puts on. It is called Curiosity, and that is between 4 o'clock and around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Curiosity, then watch any of the videos in this YouTube, because most of them are about Curiosity. And it looks like we are going to follow Kantana's draft. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, here we go with Kantana Alive, her draft.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on to the draft portion of this. Now, we were going to be watching Kantana Live, and you will be able to see her link in the VOD or the YouTube channel. So, I don't know about this. I love Thunderous Orator. It's just a great card that never pops off. What do you feel?
I think there's a lot of good cards in this pack. Kiln. My resolution's pretty bad. Let me check it. All right, though. Stormkiln Artist is pretty cool. Aether Helix is great. Frost Strixer is also very good. I don't think Biblioplex first pick is great, but it does leave her open to see some other cards before she picks a color set. Mana Tithe is something that people will not be expecting, but in limited, that counter 1 or counter spell unless they pay 1 more isn't that good.
Okay. Goes with the Thunderous Orator.
Yeah, nothing too surprising there. I really haven't watched Kanata live much, but you know, I'm sure she knows what she's doing. I just don't know what her play style is, or if she's like, you know, a big fan of Boros or Silverquill and trying to get that deck or something. But
she's probably a big fan of winning.
That's what I would guess. You know, aren't we all?
Yeah. I think Thunderous Orator is not a good card, but it could be a good card. It's not a card that you build around, but you kind of have it in the back of your mind, you know? Getting Rutha. Rutha. Now, you drafted last week. You were part of last week's draft, and you went 0-1, right? You're out single elimination, right?
But I did lose to the winner, so I think that counts for something. And I took him to game 3 and got him down to 3 health.
Oh.
So, I'm not worthless. And Rutha was one of the cards that absolutely allowed him to pop off with his deck. So we know it's a very strong card. It's good late game, early game, whenever. It's either a good blocker, it can copy small spells, it can copy big spells. That's a scary card right there.
Well, we got a lot of blue and red on the top left of the screen. Now, there's good reason to pick up a red card here. But you do have the flying owl of Doom, so I like that card as well. Just a lot of great options. Kind of have to.
You're talking about Spectacle Mage?
Yeah, it's an owl.
Okay.
Oh, so we already say get out of here. I don't even want to think about you, Thunderous Orator.
I'm interested in that pop quiz. I'm not super high on pop quiz. It's a good card. It does give you card advantage, but I don't know. For me, it's never really been anywhere near first pick, second pick, especially over some of the other cards we saw in that set. But this is why I'm casting and not playing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Ingenious Mastery. I think this card's a scam. It seems like you're gonna probably pay the 2 or the 3, and then it just kind of loses value. It's only good if it's one of the last cards you pick or you draw.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan, but maybe she's just trying to send the message that don't take my blue.
Don't take my blue. Hey, that's the way to go. Now we got Hall Monitor. Not an uncommon that you really want.
There's a lot of decent cards in this pack for her. I don't think Hall Monitor is what she necessarily wants. I think Breakthrough's decent. She doesn't have that many creatures right now to work with. So Pledge Mage would also be good. It does require 2 red pips, which is going to be hard with all the blue she has. At least right now, we're only like 4 picks in.
Mm-hmm. I definitely like Pledge Mage. It's just a great. You have to deal with it, but you don't really want to. You don't want to waste a removal spell on it, but you have to. It's probably going to kill most of your things, but there are a lot of flyers. And we got Curate, Surveil, and draw a card.
I'm very intrigued in Jeskai right now. Rip Apart this late. That's a very good card. And she has a white card that's also very good. You don't see it right now, but it's in the sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeskai does have 2 colors that will work. It has the Prismari as well as the Lorehold lands and support for the cards. So it's not, inconceivable. It's not like Grixis or something where you only have the 1 out of the 3 color combinations. So we'll see. Going green.
You gotta go green. It's 2021. Time to go green. Maybe seeing a fight spell, not really seeing more than what you wanted, and just keeping green open. Mage Duel is a good card that can pop off.
One thing I'm interested in though is she has a Mage Duel, but she only has 1 creature so far, and she's 7 picks in. She really needs to start picking up some sort of creatures.
Nah, you don't need creatures.
That put creatures on the field.
You don't need creatures. Creatures are worthless.
The deck I played against last week, I did not need creatures, but I don't know if that's the case this week. She's on to Teamer right now. I like
Going.
Teamer. Teamer's a very busted deck.
Teamer does look great. This hard pack to pick. Think about our styles. You don't want to get Lyle the Crocodile. Going for
Leech Fanatic.
huh. That's a.
You know, that was not any of the picks I was looking at.
I think maybe we say we don't want Blood Age General, so we might as well pick something that's good to get it out of your opponent's, bless you, opponent's deck.
Yeah. I like Biblioplex here. Last game or last week I had it, and while it might not seem great, in limited you run out of cards pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it tends to be able to refill your hands.
I could see that going. Although Introduction to Prophecy, to me, sounds wonderful.
Yeah, good card. Thrill, okay.
We're not really married to red,
No.
but you know, if we get some of those payoffs, definitely have a lot of spells, or sorry, a lot of sorcerers or instants in this deck. Katana's a little bit tired, just giving us a yawn.
The one card I think that, or the one color I think that we're definitely going to see is blue. Unless she gets a great rare next pack, she does have, the good thing about drafting like this is when you get a very cool rare a pack later, it's easy to switch color combinations because you just have a little bit of everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So one advantage drafting like this. The disadvantage though is when you have your end pool, you are limited because you might not have as many options to play with within your colors. So
that makes sense.
We'll
We're seeing a lot of black cards kind of show up at the end. Looks like no one's really valuing doing picking black.
specifically Golgari.
So this is kind of rough.
I don't like that breakthrough. I think that she really needs to prioritize creatures.
Yeah, Pledge Mage this late is going to make somebody pretty happy.
And it was in her colors. If she just went Prismari, that works fine. If she decided to try to go, or not, yeah, Prismari, I'm so bad with my color combinations. I believe Jeskai, right? Jeskai, that would work. Now, okay, Ecological Appreciation. Awesome, awesome card. I drafted it last week.
Mm-hmm.
In her deck right now, it's a complete scam. In my deck, I had like 14 creatures. I cast it twice, and neither time did it put a single creature on the field.
Yeah, it seems like not so great. You need to have a lot of creatures because your opponent chooses 2 of the cards. So you have to get at least 4. I think if you're going to stay green, you got this Master, Rhino Druid. You also have a Pigment Storm, which is, you know, one of my favorite cards. And then another Lorehold Pledge Mage. And think about it, if we just went all Pledge Mages, we would be popping off.
And we have a Quandrix Pledge Mage. And the reason I like the Quandrix is the best is because its Magecraft, it stacks up over time. It builds up. It's not something, you know, the Lorehold Pledge Mage. Okay, cool. You get a +1/+0 this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Quandrix gets a +1/+1 counter for the rest of the game, you know? Eureka Moment is an awesome card, but I don't know if you want to be taking it quite this early.
Yeah, I just don't know this. We really haven't found a line yet. I feel like we're just kind of a little bit confused on what to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think that she has too many cards she's drafting that synergize with having a board state, and she doesn't have enough creatures to have a board state.
Yeah, well, hopefully for her, a lot of people are taking creatures early on, so she can get just the best of the best in pack 3.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I always think that if I can take a creature over a spell that synergizes one, I'm probably going to take the creature, because late game, if you have no board state, your opponent's at 1 life, and you have whatever pump spell, it's not going to do anything. If you top deck a nice creature, you get to play it, you get to present lethal, and make your opponent deal with it.
Well, she has the Cody, looking pretty happy on having that now. It does fit in this deck of not a lot of creatures, but whew, doesn't go well in our deck so far.
Yeah, I don't think that not having enough creatures. I think it's just more that the cards she has, like Mage Duel, I don't see a single creature in her list that I'm like, oh, Mage Duel works great with that. I don't see a Quandrix Pledge Mage, which turns into a 4/5 immediately. I don't see anything. The Professor of Zoomancy isn't bad, but you only have one. You know, you have your Rutha. Okay, Mage Duel with that. Does 2 power really kill what you're trying to? I don't think so. So we'll see. You have a Cody, a 1/4. You know, same deal.
Yeah, and seems like we're gonna go with an Eureka moment. We're going to ramp, and hopefully, maybe she's hoping to get an X spell. You know, more X spells. I know she has 2. One of them might get cut if we stick to Cody, but Eureka moment is pretty good on just mana ramping. It's like I would call it just a better whatever that card was that was 2 mana.
Growth Spiral.
Growth Spiral. Yeah, it's just a more fair Growth Spiral.
Yeah, and it's also pretty good because it draws 2 cards. So it's not just a cantrip, you get advantage off of it.
Now, I'm not 100% sure on what card she has that has rares in them. Or, I mean, lessons. I don't know how many lessons she has. Or learn cards she has, sorry.
I don't think she has any so far. She has Pop Quiz, that's it. I don't think Curate does either. But she keeps hovering over Ecological Appreciation. So I don't know what she's planning. But it might be that we're just not at the level she is and have no clue what's going on.
Well, I'm definitely not at the level, but that's why I cast, because everyone can everything is great.
Regrowth is a beautiful card.
Regrowth is gonna be good for this Cody, but you don't have. Do you have a bunch of excellent things that you really, really want to get back?
Honestly, I'm happy if I turn 4 Eureka Moment, Regrowth, get your Eureka Moment back, play it again. I'm drawing 4 cards. I get to ramp twice. I'm not going to be mad. Okay. It also will get your Rutha back. So I think it's not bad. This deck is a deck that needs to be playing those expensive Prismari cards, but we're just not seeing them getting passed. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be the biggest problem. Now we think about getting Squirrel Colony.
It's a creature. I'm not against it. It's a 2-mana 2/2 that grows. She has the Eureka moments to get there quickly. I don't think it's a bad call. I also know Sultan is a huge fan of that card.
Yeah, looking at her face while looking at her deck does not. It feels like she is not the biggest fan of her deck so far, but that could just be me not being a fan of her deck and kind of pushing it on her. So this is an easy lore hold campus, right?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Why would you want a lower hold canvas? It only gets you the scry ability and it gets you a red pip. You're
uh,
only playing 2 red cards so far. I'm looking right now at
obviously I
the
was joking.
I'm looking at the Witherbloom Pledge Mage or the Groff, but I don't think the Groff is as good as the Pledge Mage.
I definitely feel like the Pledge Mage will get cut, but it's a good card. It's the best card out of all of those to take away from your opponents.
You think Pledge Mage is going to get? I don't think so. You're going to have the double green by then, and you gain life, and it's a 5/5.
It's true. 5/5s are great. And now we're getting a lot of lands. So probably I'm not a lands. We're getting a lot of creatures. So probably Cody is gonna go a Babido.
Yeah, I don't think Cody's the card you want to be playing in limited, but that's also just me. I like Reject right here. It's good tempo play. It Reject is one of my favorite cards against the Lorehold decks. You can let them get down their 1/1, maybe a 2 mana creature, but then you have something to counter their bigger threats that actually create value for themselves in the long term. Yeah, there we go. So
Prophet
I think that
Gandhi
was the
in
right call.
chat says Thrill isn't bad in this deck. And that's true. But I think only one Thrill is needed.
Yeah, we did see that she passed a second thrill earlier,
Mm-hmm.
a couple picks ago, and yeah, I tend to think that one thrill is not bad, but
You don't want to get too thrilly.
unless I'm playing a deck that revolves around discarding cards or getting stuff in the graveyard, I don't think thrill in duplicates in limited is necessary or even good.
Especially in the color pairs that you're kind of forced to win this.
Yeah, Solve isn't bad. I don't mainboard that card just because it's an expensive cantrip and late game, if you don't have a good instant sorcery, it just feels bad. But
I mean, the
in her
last thing
deck,
we want is you to feel bad.
yeah, I know. In her deck, it's pretty decent because she can just grab a Eureka moment and draw 2 cards off of it.
Tainted Pack. No one wanting this.
Extus is a great card, but no way it's fitting in her deck.
Yeah, it really seems like there's not a lot of great cards. Like, her deck needs the XX cards or
Yeah,
the token cards, and we're not seeing any of those come to her. Um, and
I do think Waterfall Aerialist is undervalued. Its ward and its power makes it a pretty good creature on turn 4.
looks like she's hovering over environmental sciences, which I don't know. I feel like that card is really good, but we only have one learn card. Might as, you know, and we have plenty of cards that are already going to help us with lands with Arika's moment. So environmental science seems a little bit scuff. So maybe we just take this human warlock and put it over to
That's
the
certainly
side.
an interesting pick.
I think it's a good hate draft.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's a Serpentine Curve. I think that's a pretty easy pick right here. You're playing a whole bunch of instants and sorceries. You need payoffs for them.
Oh, yeah.
I think yesterday I saw you and Sorge practicing, and I think you can attest to how big those things can get.
especially
And
for just 4 mana, but she's kind of left this spell heavy deck. I mean, not spell. I always say spell, but instant or sorcery heavy deck.
spellcaster style.
Spellcaster. Now, spell satchel.
I don't think it's that good.
It's
I've
good, but
never
not in
seen.
her deck.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
good
seen
in the
people play
deck
it.
that her deck wants to be. Okay, we got the
Okay,
curve.
I like that. I think we might get a decent deck out of this in the end. There, okay, that's nice.
Oh yeah, but
Another thrill. This is our third thrill we've seen.
too much thrills for you, right?
I know. I'm a very calm person, so
Calm, laid back folk.
absolutely. You will never see me even get so much as annoyed playing Valorant or Magic or any other game.
Yeah, or League.
I don't know. I don't really play League that much.
Well, I played with you recently, and you were very grumpy. Moving on. Um, it looks like we have our fellow buddy, Swords and Statutes, said they convinced her to take Exodus. So the reason why she picked that rare was because her chat bullied her. And Katana, if you're watching this, don't listen to the bullies, especially cyber bullies.
All right, I'm gonna pull up her chat right now, and we'll see what's going on.
So Enthusiastic Study is a learn card. Leyline. Oh, Leyline Invocation. Now this is where we want to be at. Yeah, it's not an X spell, but it's going to pop off.
Pretty close to one.
Yeah, especially with these Eureka's moments. Hopefully you hit a land drop or more every turn. So by the time it's at least going to be a 6/6.
Well, I have a bit more insight on the Exodus pick. The reasoning behind it was that you can cast the back of it with Cody.
Okay. These
I'm
facts.
not a fan of that because it's going to be a dead card otherwise.
Well,
and you can't even tutor for it. You have a tutor for an instant sorcery, but Exodus is a creature on the front side. So I don't think the synergy is quite there with the deck. I will give her that she does have a lot of card draw. So in theory, she could get there with the card draw.
Yeah, one thing that she does not have are combat tricks or removal. Bury in books is kind of removal if it hits, because there are a lot of tokens. So if it hits a big token, yeah, you're gonna feel great about your life. But you might not. Oh, Clausies is now following. You're on screen.
I know, I'm famous. Look at me, Mom.
I mean, it must feel really good to be followed by a caster. Now,
I'm going to tell you, if anybody looks back at this that was playing, someone is going to be very sad they did not go Golgari.
I think someone's going to be sad they didn't go Golgari. I think we saw a lot of the Lorehold Pledge Mage, at least 3 that I saw. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, I think that's
not that it's like the best card.
I don't think they're like busted or anything. I think they're just a solid common, you know?
Oh yeah, no, that's kind of what I was going at.
I would like Fortifying Drought right here. It gains life and it's a fight spell.
Well,
or wait, no, is it a fight spell or does it just give +X/+X?
It's +X/+X.
Okay, I thought it was. There's another one that fights, and then it's like 2 mana and it fights, and then when the creature dies, you gain 2. Mess those up. All right, so we're pick 7 in pack 3. Give the deck a rating on a scale of 0 to 10.
Ooh, 0 to 10. Now, I'm not the best deck builder, as I am a Class A net decker, but I would give this deck a E for effort.
I
And
like it.
a lot of lands in here. We got a Prismatic Campus. I would probably give it a 4. I
A
think
4?
a 4. I think it has a chance of 1 win, and then it loses if it wins the first game, because you never know. I think if it wins this first game, it won't win the second game, and it is single elimination, so we might not even get to the second match.
I think it has a chance to do a bit better than that.
So what would you give it?
I'm giving it a solid 7.
A solid 7.
Make that a 6.5. No,
A
not quite.
6.5.
6.5.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that I don't like the deck, because but it's just not a style of play that I would be into.
Yeah, understandable. You don't like the deck, and that's fine.
But Kantana is just a great person.
I haven't been able to listen to it yet, and I just discovered about her channel today, but I for sure will go back and make sure to watch some of her drafts, or standard or historic, whatever she plays.
Sometimes she plays The Sims, I think.
Probably will skip that one. If she plays Valorant, I'm in though.
It's either The Sims or Animal Crossing.
I've never played Animal Crossing, and I never plan to. Have you?
No, because I don't have friends. Moving on.
What do you think about the 2 Tome Shredders?
Oh, I love Tome Shredder because a lot of the time your opponent just can't attack. Now, I don't think it's good in this deck because this deck doesn't know what it wants to do. Does it want to be creature heavy? Does it want to be spell heavy? Well, it's kind of in the middle right now. So, obviously Cody is gotta go.
I don't see Cody staying. I think Cody X's go. That saves you wild cards as well. So, I like a lot of the other cards, and I kind of like the game plan of just being a mid-range deck. And the reason I'm saying that is because most people call mid-range decks, or most people call it the decks where they just take good cards and they put them all together, and the deck doesn't really have a ton of synergy. It just has synergy here and there. It has removal, it has card draw, it has a little bit of everything. They just called it mid-range. I think that's what this deck really embodies. It has a little bit of a lot of stuff, and it can go into somewhat long games. It can be kind of aggressive. It has a tiny bit of removal. It has a little bit of life gain. It does a little bit of a lot of things. And it's really up to luck and how good you can pilot it to, see how good it is.
I understand that. Now, we are cutting cards, and we're actually going to watch the choices that are made. We do have an almost unlimited sideboard. First things first, we got to get our nice lands in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, chat over here is saying they don't see it going by first round. And, if this goes up against a aggro deck, it's going to lose.
I don't know. I think that it has enough creatures. Turn 4, you have 2 Professors of Zoomancy. You have a Witherbloom Pledge Mage. The more I'm starting to see this deck, the more I'm starting to like it.
Okay. Well, we got to get rid of 6 cards. Thinking hard about our rare. Or our mythic. What cards are we going to want to... What creatures are worth it? It seems like there's not the... Like, we do have some great creatures. but those two creatures are going to get shuffled into our library.
Oh, ecological appreciation. Blah, blah, blah. Ecological appreciation is not playable in this deck. Just isn't. I'll
Yeah,
make it very clear. Don't play it.
it needs to. It costs 7. Is that what it is?
It
7.
costs 3 plus X.
Well,
So if you want to cast it for 4 to
oh,
get your
8.
professors, it's gonna cost 7. If you're gonna want to cast it for Pledge Mage and Dust Speaker, it'll cost 8.
Well, you want to get the Dust Speaker because of the 2 cards that go to the bottom or that get shuffled into your library.
I guess I just don't think it's main boardable. I think she has 3 easy cuts right here, which are Exodus, Appreciation, and Cody. I don't see how any of those are good. Ingenious Mastery can also go, and Spell Satchel as well. I don't know what she just took out.
Too fast for your eyes. Maybe she's just making some god tier big brain plays.
I think she's just saying, I want to go big or go home. And if she plays this deck, I'm pretty sure she's going to be going home.
Oh, that's not nice. But she did say that she wanted to make a fun deck.
If it pops off, if she can get Cody out on turn 3 and then Exodus, use the backside sack, maybe sack the Cody, Exodus, get out a creature or something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, But
I definitely feel like she, regardless if she wins or she loses, she's gonna have a great time.
Yeah, well, of course, you get to play against fun people, and get to see weird drafts, and what is there that's more fun than that?
And so we're kind of just finishing up our deck, and well, this is the world. I guess we did watch Kantana's draft, but we're not going to watch her first game. We'll be switching, giving all the streamers the most valuable airtime. But if she does, win and keep winning, then we're gonna see more of her deck in action. So
Are we trying to get people to submit deck lists? Because
so
I don't think anybody has yet, and I kind of want to test it out for this weekend.
Sure, totally, and we'll get to that on off air. So we'll be right back with game number 1.
Game number 1.
All right, it looks like we had some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Now we are watching Queenie playing Mtggirl _ on top. Both these are streamers, and this is the first round of the Strixhaven Book Club Chapter 2, second week.
So we had some early plays. I think it was just land go for the first 3 turns. Then we saw Mtggirl get down a Pledge Mage and Queenie get down an Apprentice. So we'll see where we go from here. I have no clue who has the upper hand, and I do not have any idea what either of your decks look like. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. There are roller coasters, but I think I'm not going to be all as up and down. I think I'm going to be chill as a cucumber.
Well, holy crap. Mtggirl just dropped a pretty decent rare. It's a 3-mana 3/3 with trample. That's not bad. But even better than that, it grows to be like an 8/8 once you have 8 lands down, which is rather insane, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, we do have expanded, and we're going in a 4/4 that cannot be blocked. You love to see it.
I think that's a very intelligent play to put the counters on something that you can make unblockable. The only problem I see is that every other card she has in her hand is a creature. So the Magecraft will not be triggering for a couple turns, leaving it open to being blocked. Plus, we do not know what type of removal Mtggirl may have. Interesting attack. What do you think about this?
Well, I think that this attack means that you're gonna have to make some tough choices. Honestly, if I were in this position, I would block the Pledge Mage. I just don't think. I don't know. Maybe you can risk blocking this other folk, but if we have a pump spell, that Pledge Mage is gonna be a big one, and I feel like we have a pump spell. So
I'm predicting the gain 2 life and +X/+X. Oh, square up. Nice.
Square up does the trick. So no matter what, we were gonna die. So that's at least that's a good thing to feel.
It's a nice consolation.
Yeah.
It would have been, in that specific case, it definitely would have been better to block the 3/3 because they would have at least traded.
No, because it was +2/+2.
No, it sets the power to 4.
Oh, see, this is why you're a smart person and I'm a dummy, but...
No, it's just that reading the card explains the card.
Reading the card does explain the card, but it has so much text. Why can't it just say what it is and then we're good?
Yeah, why can't the pictures just tell this card,
Thank you so much for having my back.
All right, back to the game. We see Queenie with a handful of creatures that she can drop 1 a turn, but Mtggirl definitely is getting there with her lands, and once she gets her 8th land drop down, unless there's a removal spell for that 3/3 with trample, I'm pretty sure it'll be GG because it's pretty hard to stop an 8/8.
I'm surprised that she didn't attack all because Pill Drop can't kill anything.
I'm also surprised by that. I don't know what's in her hand or if there's any reason for that, but to me that was 100% attack all. You get your opponent down to 12 at the minimum, likely down to 9. If you have a pump spell next turn, could be GG right then. These waterfall aerialists are good, but I don't think they're anywhere near good enough. They have decent blocks. You can't block the Pledge Mage with them because the Pledge Mage will probably just have Magecraft triggered and nothing, no trades. The Pilgrim or whatever that 3/3 rare is, it's possible, and that's probably a decent block right there. And I would also say you want to get that Vortex Runner out of the way as soon as possible because it doesn't look like Queen Erie's playing targeted removal. It looks like her deck is based around building creatures and chump blocking.
You get a 1/1. So there finally is one thing that will be able to fight us in.
I right here would love to see a Warden block that forces a pump spell at the minimum or 2 Magecraft abilities. I think the story of this match so far has been that Queen Erie got stuck on 4 lands when, if she was able to make some more consistent land drops, it might have turned the tides a little bit. We also have seen that Mtggirl has been very conservative with her attacks, which is definitely allowing Queen Erie time to possibly get back into the game.
She definitely threw something in the air. Queenie Erie looking at this Quandrix Pledge Mage and saying, not good. Not a fan.
Yeah. It's one of the strongest commons in the set, as far as I'm concerned. You can play it in green, blue, any mix of, and gets big, and it gets big fast.
Well, we're chasing waterfalls with this waterfall aerialist. Hard to take down, but well, look at this. We have just a number one person coming out, and that is the Nerdy Steve. If now I know this Nerdy Steve isn't participating in this week, but he was our co-host last week, and he's also just a great streamer. So love promoting him. You can always see him at twitch.tv/the-nerdy-steve.
One of my favorite things about Nerdy Steve is his hours that he streams. He streams like all day. At least to me, it seems like all day. And it's great because, when I'm getting up and fixing lunch or something after schoolwork, it's so nice to tune into Nerdy Steve and listen to him either crack some funny jokes or get extremely pissed off with some deck. Either way, I'm happy.
The thing about me and Nerdy Steve is it only seems like he streams every day all day from me, because my day never exists without him. So if he's not streaming, I don't even count it as a day. I don't even see myself in existence without him.
I understand this. I really think Mtggirl let this game slide. We know she has.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm interested. Huh?
Okay. So, kind of confusing, but hey. Mtggirl, did she, maybe, I wouldn't want to say that she threw the game, but it's just not looking very likely, or she's just toying with her food.
It might not have been a full-on, 50 yard punt, but it definitely was a bit of a toss. There were... Okay.
See, God tier plays.
Definitely a lot of attacks that she should have been more aggressive with. And now, if Queen Eerie can survive this attack, she's dead. She has 2 3/1s in the air. There's no way that she can remove them.
What
she has
about
a blocker for one of them.
The mage?
Well, she does have the breakthrough.
Yeah. And she did put it on the right creature because she's smart.
Oh. Yeah, I think that was definitely a bit of a toss, but
you win some and you lose some.
And as long as you had fun, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Oh boy, now we get to see the deck. There's a time warp in it, there's a bookworm in it, and there's an elemental masterpiece in it.
And those are 2 fractal summonings that were just missing out of Kantana's ability. She got all of them. She got 2 of them, and that's really what Kantana was looking for if she wanted to make that Cody happen.
Fractal summonings?
Yes. 2, a blue and a green plus X create a XX fractal creature.
Oh, in the sideboard.
In the sideboard.
Completely missed it. Yep.
Yeah, this deck, this is also kind of it's a pile, but it's not the worst pile.
Very similar colors, right?
1 bookworm. So just playing 1 green to play a bookworm.
I think it's a solid deck. I think that not having the lands she needed really was hard that first game.
Missing some lands, but we did have all those creatures, so can't go wrong with that. So now we're on the second game. Queenie win in the first round. Or sorry, first game in the match. And this, you got your bookworm, you got your Greenland, but you don't have much else.
You're only 3 mana away from your bookworm. You know, on
Well,
turn
I
8, you have
can't.
bookworm down.
Yeah, easy turn 8.
Actually, even 7. You sudden break through your opponent's creature, you get a treasure. I think this is a lot more keepable.
This is a lot more peepable.
Keepable. It's also peepable. I can look at it.
Yeah, you can take a look at it. And we do have 2 flyers, which, Mtggirl _ doesn't have the ability to, or at least in the last match, didn't really have much they could do against the flyers besides steal one of them.
Yeah. This is exactly what Queenie's deck needs to be doing. It needs to have turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 plays, put creatures on the field, put pressure on your opponent, make them find answers, especially against a Quandrix deck that probably doesn't have that many good answers.
Well, we might have an answer here. Reading the Apprentice. And I also do think it is important to play a creature on 2, play something on 3, play something on 4. Pretty much try to play a spell every turn.
Yeah. Unless you're playing a more controlish deck, in which case you might be rejecting, spells. Or if you're playing a ramp deck, it's okay to skip turn 2.
It's
turn
true.
3, get the blocker down, get some card draw. Turn 4, draw 2 cards, put a land on the field. There's a lot of different ways to go, but
Queenie is doing something with her hands right now.
I think she's doing a demonic summoning.
Oh,
I think she's trying to curse her opponent. Maybe that's why Mtggirl didn't attack last time.
Because of the summonings.
Queenie had some sort of magical control or something, but we'll see. We'll see how this game plays out. Oh, attack all.
Double attack. And no blocks? Mtggirl _ she smelled it from a mile away. She knew what was happening.
Yeah.
She was stream sniping. You heard it first.
I don't think she was stream sniping, but
okay. I'm joking. Of course she was stream sniping.
Yeah. What else would you do? That's how I win all my games. Oh, okay, that's good.
Death Touch.
Arcane subtraction is gonna feel very bad.
For who?
For Mtggirl. Okay. Because Drake has to deal damage. I don't like this. Shock is so much more versatile. I 100% would have attacked in. Subtraction, the Drake.
Square up. Maybe you still attack C's?
How much does subtraction do? I think it's -4, right?
-4, so you definitely have it. You get another spell.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's definitely going to be playing this for... No? Yes.
Yeah, and you see there, if she had just attacked and then either shocked, there's no reason to shock before blocks.
Don't shock before you block.
Both of your cards that you were considering were instants. You want to wait until you have the most information possible before making those decisions.
That makes perfect sense.
Because shock does, as we saw, it doesn't do as well against pump spells as subtraction. And even if you do lose one of your flyers, it's not that big of a deal.
Sorry, 1 second. My cat is in a box. Oh, no! Just jumped out.
Okay, now we're seeing a bit more board state from Mtggirl. We're growing our fractals.
We are growing our fractals, but still have 5 in the air.
Yeah, if she somehow could steal the Spectacle Mage, if she has that card again, that would definitely turn the game around because you block your aerialist with it, and you basically clear the flyers out.
I think you play the Spectacle. Oh, a Spectacle Mage only discounts super expensive spells. Is that correct?
It's only 5. Yeah, 5 or more. CMC uh, spells with 5 or more CMC, instant sorceries. I okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Mighty Fine and Dollar. Now, Spectacle Mage. I mean, what are the chances we steal? What are the
Well, the chances right now, I'm pretty sure, are close to 0. Okay.
So making it so your opponent has to block,
but they don't, and it's also only until end of turn.
Very interesting. Maybe you just saw that you are going to die, and it is a sorcery speed spell.
Yep. Sounds about right to me.
Well, that is Queenie going on to round number 2, taking out Mtggirl _ in 2 games. She is very happy on our screen right now, but yeah, although it feels bad for Mtggirl, you can always find her on, because it is single elimination, you can find her at twitch.tv/mtggirl_. Any final thoughts on that little matchup?
I think that it could have gone to the third if Mtggirl had been more aggressive in the first. In the second game, she just was out-tempoed, and there really wasn't anything she could do about it. But overall, it was a good match. I'm excited to see where Queenie goes. I would love to see that time spiral. Is that what it is?
We did have some time spiral remastered.
No, the card that takes an extra turn.
Time sphere.
Something like that. Some manipulatory time card.
Take an extra turn card. Time wipe.
Maybe it's that. There's a lot of time-related cards in Magic. I would love to see that sometimes this evening. It's one of the more interesting, more fun cards. You can even combo with it.
So. You know what my favorite time is?
Saturday at 4 p.m. EST.
Yes, but also time to go on to the next match. So
absolutely,
we'll be back with round number 2 if you're watching live in a little bit, or if you're watching on YouTube, it will be like this. Here we are with the Mana Sultan on the bottom and on the screen. And he is facing Hymnrackgomtg. That is Hymnrackgo. It is twitch.tv.com/Hymnrackgo and twitch.tv.com/the Sultan. So
ready for some fun?
I think I'm ready for fun.
I have seen both of these guys play. Both of them know the game. Both of them make punts here and there, but overall it should be an amazing matchup to watch, especially seeing the cards that Hymnrackgo has gotten onto the field and what Mana Sultan has in hand.
Yeah, Hymnrack though has 2 menace creatures, so we gotta get a creature down. We gotta get something happening. This Blood Reporter is just going to be very rude.
Yes, but it's not growing quite yet. So Sultan does have a bit of time. He also has Divide by 0 to bounce it, which more or less resets the counters.
That is true.
And if he can get a red, he has the Prismari command to deal with it as well.
Decides to Divide by 0, send it back to the hand, just take 1 life. And playing the safe route, going for that red mana.
That makes sense.
Or
for
I'm guessing.
I was like, I don't know about that divide. But now that the environmental science is here, it makes perfect sense.
Yep. Divide in half. Go the distance.
And you see Mana Sultan has gotten injured, let's put it that way, by the auto tapper enough times to learn how to manually tap.
Manually tapping because of the injuries that have been happening. Love it.
What Sultan is afraid of right now is going to be Blood Researcher, followed up with immediate life gain.
Mm-hmm.
I also remember Hymnrackgomtg had a pause in response to Sultan bouncing Blood Researcher, so it very well could be that there's a Snakeskin Veil or some sort of protection or pump spell hiding in his hand.
Yeah, very possible, but Snakeskin Veil seems like unlikely to have two in one draft pod. But yeah, we see Honor Troll get boosted by what you said, a pump spell, and now
The horrible part about that pump spell is it gained life. Otherwise, Mana Sultan could have dealt with the Researcher this turn, as well as maybe making a treasure to get towards your masterpiece faster, or some other advantage, maybe drawing cards. I don't know. But right now, Sultan
up a creek.
Sultan has a lot of work to do.
A lot of grinding to do just to get back to a decent spot. I was looking at this serpentine curve. Oh, excuse me. You don't want to play it, but do you have to play it? I think the answer might be a astounding yes.
It only blocks the troll. It's not bad, but it definitely is not what he wants to be doing. I think his plan is probably Biblioplex Assistant. He can cast Serpentine Cur again. Maybe he's trying to do something with Prismari Command. I'm not exactly sure. But Sultan's deck is by no far poorly built. But he definitely is at a bit of a disadvantage right here. He's a bit behind, but if he can somehow manage to make it maybe 3 more turns, hit his land drops, get some board presence, remove some creatures, I think he'll take the edge in the late game.
It's a possibility, but you got this 5/5 looking at you. And it's not pretty. It's a very ugly card.
Yep. The 5/5 can be dealt with the Mage Duel, or the Blood Researcher can be dealt. I personally probably would have dealt with the 5/5 and then had the double block on the Researcher and hoped that a second or third pump spell is not in his hand.
Well, we got another Blood Researcher in our hand.
Oh,
and now we're cramming.
You can see Sultan is he's impressed. That little shake of the head and the sigh, you know he's impressed by his opponent's deck.
Very impressed. You know, obviously both these players won their first round because they're still playing. This is a single elimination tournament. The more you do, the better you do, the more games you get to play. The worse you do, the least amount of games you can play. But hey, you still get the draft. You still get to play one game. Now Blood Researcher up to 4/4. You know, this one hurts. I'm just gonna be honest. It hurts.
He has decent blocks though. I think he double blocks Blood Researcher. Honor Troll, whatever, doesn't necessarily deal damage or gain life by itself. It needs something else to trigger it, and it doesn't have its own life gain trigger, so it won't actually put any counters on Blood Researcher itself, but the Pledge Mage definitely will, and that's part of the problem.
Is part of the problem, but a good part of the problem was that Hymnrack did not attack.
I don't know. I think that's bad. I would have actually welcomed an attack in with Witherbloom, Pledge Mage, and Honor Troll. You have a double block there.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, it was a joke.
Now, Mana Sultan is either going to have to double block and still take a lot of damage, or chump block, and then he won't really improve his own board state.
Hate to be Mana Sultan right now.
Yeah, it's only first game. Um, he's still at 14 life. There's a chance he can come back. This Prismari command, how useful it will be, is very important. It needs to most likely draw him into another land so he can get his assistant down, get his Prismari command back again, ramp more, get more lands to get down that masterpiece. Because if he can get down that masterpiece, it will instantly turn the tides of this game.
And hope that we can get rid of this Quadrix Pledge Mage.
He has
Okay.
a Pigment Storm. That's nice to work with. I would not mind a discard of Masterpiece right here because Biblioplex Assistant can get it right back.
But it's hard to get rid of this mountain because you need to have... Oh, well, you got it. Never punished, always punished.
Well, kind of punished.
But hey, we got rid of the evil blood researcher, and you know, it might be turning this around. Obviously, still heavily favored in Hymnrackgomtg, but I feel like the lack of attacks might do him dirty. Kind of like in the first game of the first round where Mtggirl didn't attack. This might feel like we need to turn things sideways. You gotta lose a creature to kill some creatures, you know? That's the old saying.
I think it's also knowing your opponent's attack. Like if you're attacking, if you're Quandrix and you're attacking into Lorehold, you might want to think about that again. But if you're Lorehold and you're attacking into Quandrix, pretty easy. You have the threat of a lot of different pump spells and combat tricks, and you're the aggressive deck. So it's kind of knowing what your deck does and executing it, and also knowing what your opponent's doing. And I think Hymnrackgomtg is kind of reading this situation poorly. He had some good attacks last turn that he decided not to do.
And a triple block.
This is interesting. I'm confused as to why it is not a double block, leaving the Adept up.
Feel like Mana Sultan is just is saying I have another snakeskin veil. Probably not, because it's hard to get a bunch of those. Or he's just saying he thinks that there's a possibility of a pump spell.
Well, the pump spell that I would be concerned about is the gain 2 life. Target creature gets +X/+X, where the life X is the amount of life you gained. But in this case, if that was the pump spell, it would have gained 3 life, and then that would have dealt with 2 creatures. Okay.
Cody? We've got a
Okay.
Cody?
Okay.
A Cody that we can activate, right? Well, not really, because you need to have a spell.
I don't honestly know what Cody does.
It's 4 mana.
3 mana.
Well, it costs 3 mana, but it's 4 mana tap, and yeah, you need to have an instant.
That's what I thought. Is I thought when it's a sort of like pseudo cascade effect.
Yeah, it's in this set where there's a bunch of keywords without the keyword in them.
Yeah.
Cascade, Storm, my parents still love me, like a bunch of keywords, you know?
It's weird not playing the Cody or discarding the mountain, or playing the mountain. I'm assuming that's to discard it to the Adept, try to draw another card. I don't like not playing the Cody. Okay, I see what Solon's doing. He's gonna pump the amplifier, try to get the trade down, leaving up the Adept, and then he's gonna probably loot with the Adept. I've got to say, I think Sultan has played this very well, even
Especially,
though he's been on the back foot more or less this entire game.
yeah, a little bit of God tier play right there.
Oh my
So
gosh.
many trolls of honor, and I think we're gonna see an FF.
I don't think so, not yet.
Okay,
He
you're
still
you're right.
lives one more turn.
Lives to tell the
I
tale.
Implementer takes 5 to double its power, right?
5 to double.
So that makes Cody plus doubling Implementer off the board. So Sultan right now has to decide, is it more important to be able to block one of his opponent's creatures and kill it, or to have blockers for 2? And I personally would like to see a pass right now. Block the biggest creature your opponent has, kill it. Cody on the next turn. You're going to be at 1 life, but it's the best chance you have.
Are you sure it's the best chance you have?
I believe so.
Because that one creature, you need to have 2 creatures to block. You know what I'm saying?
No. The 1/1 has menace. That's it.
Yeah, so if you're down to 1 life, you need to block it.
Yeah, interesting. I understand what you're saying, but I
I
also
understand what you're saying, but it's also stupid, and I
no.
hate
I
your
also
guts.
don't. I if Sultan got a land off the top next turn, he's dead no matter what. So I guess it's knowing your deck is what matters right now. Oh, now it's GG's.
Yeah. See, I thought that he shouldn't have played the Cody. Thought that was a bad play. Ooh, 2 of the thrills made it into Mana Sultan's main board.
Okay. And
He
I
also has 2 fractal summaries.
and here I like it because the Biblioplex Archimancer assistant. I can't read the second part of it.
It's the best friend.
Um, works well with that. It means you can throw your thrills in, you can get the thrills back, you can discard spells, you can get those back, especially when you have Prismari Command, Cody, Divides, Aether Helixes, Storms, Burying Books, Leyline Invocations, Elemental Masterpieces. Do I
Basic
gotta go on?
lands.
He also has the Biblioplex. I'm a huge fan of that card. I think in his deck it might not be the best because I don't see him running out of cards when his deck is working at well, but it definitely is. It's good in any deck, as far as I'm concerned. In limited, especially in standard, not so much.
He is a god tier player, so
Yeah,
I'll always think that he's right.
I do have to say, so far, him versus me in historic has been very one-sided.
With him beating you a bunch.
No, I think I'm 3-0 on him in historic or 5-0.
So you're just flexing on somebody who can't talk back
No, he can talk back.
about a format that we're not even playing.
No, yeah,
I'm just messing
but
with you.
in curiosity, I think we're fairly evenly matched and have a fairly even history playing curiosity, which Strixhaven season is coming out this weekend.
Strixhaven Curiosity season starts on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Goes to about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we have an island thick hand with only 1 card that we can cast, which kind of ruins the rest of our cards in hand. Not really, but
2 of them. Okay. Okay. Here we can. Oh, that sucks. Never mind. Cody. It's Cody here. Because aggressive iteration, you really want to play that when you can exile the land so you can cast it for free. I don't know why he didn't play Cody there. Maybe he wants to get his permanents down? I don't know.
well, he's going to have a hard time getting those permanents down because he needs a forest.
Invocation isn't bad. he has his forests now, but his opponent does have a very unique and interesting rare out that I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what it does. I know it has a win the game at the bottom of its text, which is always scary.
It is a stadium card where you play football.
I believe so. Maybe it's Quidditch. Now that it's Strixhaven
Oh,
School,
that makes sense.
right?
Quid X. Quandre. Oh, here we go. Strixhaven Stadium. Add a counter whenever something happens. You add a counter, and then I'm guessing at some point you spend them counters.
Okay, I'll read it to you.
Thank you.
I don't think anything's nothing's happening in game. So it's a 3 mana artifact. It taps to add 1 generic. Put a counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from it. Okay. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then, if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game. So, more or less, it is a poison effect, but on an artifact. Very weird. I honestly really like the design. I think that's very fun.
Yeah, I do think that's fun. Really great.
What do we think about not playing Colony and then just playing Cody? Especially considering that the stadium is on the field.
I don't know. I think it was very interesting that he decided to not get rid of the squirrel.
I mean, he is close to it being a 4/4, and the stadium it can get those counters accumulated without ever attacking, because just once a turn you just tap it, give you a generic, add 1. So we will see. Does Divide by 0 only hit creatures, or can it hit artifacts?
I think it is permanent, non-land permanents. Chooses to get rid of the Crotch Wrangler.
Yeah, it forces him to use his mana 5 versus 3, and it also removes a counter. So effectively it does the same exact thing, but instead it will get him down to 16 rather than not losing any life, and it will also force him to use 5 mana, leaving 3 up next turn, and he can attack in with some decent sized creatures. So I think that was a very smart play by Sultan. I probably would have messed that up.
And that is why you are in... No, I'm just joking.
No, you're not wrong.
And Mana Sultan, even though he got crushed the first game, you can see him. He's just very, very good at focusing on the game and what is going on.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to come back from being down a game, but you have to remember it's 3 individual games. What happened to your last match doesn't really affect this match, and you just have to have the right mentality, and I know for a fact Sultan has that mentality. So I'm not worried about that one bit. I know he's going to pull it out somehow, and I know for a fact that we're going to go to game 3. I'll put money on it right now.
Okay. So we are saying fight me.
All right, I'm going to look up Cody real quick because I think this is going to be relevant to something we discussed just yesterday on when you and Swords were building Curiosity decks. Cody Codex.
Cody the Vorax Corax.
Awesome. So when Sultan uses his fractal summoning, Cody will be able to cast a instant or sorcery with uh converted mana cost less than, or mana value less than that, and that will include the X values. So in theory, Sultan should be able to make a 6/6, 7/7, and then cast something with converted mana cost 9 or less from his library, which will be busted if he hits the right thing, such as another ley line.
He did
Maybe.
decide to not play his Snakeskin Veil and let his homeboy die, but I feel like that's going to be okay.
Yeah, he has more important targets to protect at this point in the game.
And so many Wranglers.
Well, it's the same Wrangler, just 3 times.
That's not what I
Isn't
see.
isn't it? I thought he bounced it again.
That's not how I see it.
Okay. I mean, I guess each Wrangler is individual and unique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to see an attack.
6/6. This is an interesting blocking decision.
And just all of the party tricks happening at once.
Now, one of the I think you know exactly why I love Test of Talents.
Because it is a mean card.
No, it's because you get to look through your opponent's library. And one thing I would have liked Sultan to do is actually spend a bit more time digging through it. It lets you know what you're up against and what cards are left there, what you have to potentially consider your opponent's draws to be, etc.
Well, I'm sure he just has the most confidence in himself and in his friends and in his knowledge of the game.
Aether Helix is very nice.
It's a permanent, so it's going to have to be a land.
Well, he had the option for the creature in his graveyard, but Cody would not have let him cast it, and I think that puts him to his 8 mana, or his 8 land, which in Quandrix is very relevant. Plus, who doesn't like giant fractal summonings?
I don't know a single person.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know a single person either.
In general, I don't know a single person.
Oh, okay. I generally know like 2 people.
I guess I know my mom and my dad, and they know me, I think.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
That is some major hurt. Yeah, the Blood Researcher gets a counter on, but it's dead.
So here the question is, how reactive versus proactive does Sultan want to become? I think he wants to be very proactive. I think he wants to put down some giant threats and say, hey, I have a lot of giant creatures and you got to deal with them.
Yeah, and when you get to destroy this evil force, Hymnrackgomtg says, well, you've got a lot of numbers on your side of the board. I don't have anything on my side of the board, and I will quit.
You can see the pure jubilation coming off of Sultan's face.
I have never seen anyone more happy than Mana Sultan right now.
Yeah, it's impressive. That it's very interesting that Sultan has a Containment Breach in his sideboard, and I don't think he chose to get it with Fractal Summoning. So he must not have been scared of that artifact.
It's not that scary. When you have a board bigger than your opponent's, your creature's bigger than your opponent's, and why waste time dealing with it when it's just gonna give your opponent a little bit more breathing room?
Yep, that's a good philosophy. So I know it's early to predict things, but I think we're gonna see Sultan versus Garbage Andy for the title.
Sultan versus Garbage Andy for the title. Now, this is an event that Sultan has put together with the help of Team Cat and friends. So, it's just, I hope he loses because I feel like it's just not fair to win your own event.
Well, in that case, I hope the Garbage Andy doesn't get to the third, because, like, do we really want to have one guy win every single one?
Yeah, we want to have an arch nemesis for people to root against.
Such as me in the Curiosity season. Not the
Did
finals.
you,
The
you,
season.
you, you
Not
said
the finals.
season, not finals? And
The season.
Mana Sultan's so bored that he's just going to leave.
Yeah, I respect it. Rage quit.
Says, I don't need to. Why am I waiting on someone? They should be waiting on me. Decides to leave the game and I guess retire from Magic. So
that is the true attitude of a Sultan.
That is true. So, while we're watching this chair stream, we do have Freddy right here, who's halfway off the couch, her couch.
Well, when he's gone, let's pick whether he's going to mulligan or keep this hand. What do you think?
That is a hard mulligan.
I have to agree. But let's see how Sultan looks at it.
I think that if Mana Sultan wins this hand, with this hand, he is just a god tier player.
I mean, if he wins with his hand, it's going to mean some lucky top decks.
Nope. God tier player.
So he's decided to unrage quit and reinstall the game.
I texted him, and he said, "You're right."
Okay, easy mulligan, easy keep. I respect it. Only 2 spells to 4 lands. He is playing a bit of a slower deck, a little bit more control-y, so I'm not surprised, but it is slightly concerning.
With this divide by 0, I think we're going to be A-okay. We got 2 ley lines for late game action. We're probably going to see this divide by 0 or another forest soon.
I think this all comes down to how quickly can Hymnrackgomtg build up a board, and how big can that board become. Divide here makes sense. Fractal summoning.
Thank you.
Yeah. If environmental research put it onto the field, I feel like that would have been correct.
Yeah, but unfortunately, environmental research does not put things onto the field.
And this is, I believe, the 3rd or 4th land Sultan has drawn in a row.
He's drawn only lands this match.
No, well, he has drawn 1 Leyline Invocation, but other than that, everything's been a land.
No, he's only played lands.
Well, he's only played lands, but we were talking about what he's drawn.
He doesn't know what land is.
Okay.
Well, we got another land. That's pretty good. We're going to have to play a 3/3.
It blocks. It's not the worst. Next turn, he gets a 6/6. Turn after that, he gets a 6/6.
A 7/7.
And so far, I have only seen pump spells from him and not removal. So, we'll see.
Pump it up, junk jams. Here we go. We got a 4/4, a Woe Eater.
As long as Sultan can keep good blocks, Hymnrackgomtg is going to have to sacrifice that. I actually think that card is a very risky card to play right there, because it's your upkeep. You don't have time during your main phase or, pre-combat or any, there's no way to really get creatures there quickly. So if your opponent can kill a couple of your creatures, you're just going to sack it, and it doesn't do much good. But Hymnrack Go has a very clutch instant that gives Death Touch and brings a creature right back. So I think this might wrap it up for Sultan.
Well, I mean, we still have to kill stuff.
Well, Sultan has to block the 7/6 here.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's taking 6 damage down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has another Leyline Invocation that blocks the 4/4. He takes 2 damage down to 1. Any pump spell, he will be dead to.
Any pump spell? Any pump spell in chat?
Or removal spell. We also have to consider that.
Any removal in chat? What?
Well, that's yeah.
What is he thinking? Does he not know what 7+2 is?
I'm gonna tune in. I don't know what he's doing.
By the look on his face,
he just forgot. He didn't count it up.
Okay. It's very unfortunate. Mana Sultan needs to go back to... For me, it was 5th grade math. For you, I don't know what if you were in a smart math class, but that was some 5th grade math for me. And the look of defeat, it is sad.
I just typed go back to middle school in chat, so.
Well, there we go. We saw a 3-game Mana Sultan losing to Hymnrackgomtg. It wasn't looking good for Mana Sultan, but he could have last one more turn at least, and it's unfortunate to see him go.
Nice. That was a good game, though. I went to the 3rd. The last one I'm not happy about. Sultan definitely punted, but overall the match was competitive and it was very fun to watch.
And I think if you are always drawing lands, you're just going to get morally crushed, and we definitely saw that with the Mana Sultan. So we're going to be right back with the final match of the day. Hymnrack Go versus to be announced. All right, so it looks like we are watching Garbage Andy and once again Hymnrackgomtg. We definitely were trying to get the most players on stream. Once again, all these players are streaming, so if you're interested in watching them, you can check out the video link below on the YouTube, and if you're watching live, then you can figure it out.
Yep. That was an interesting mulligan. No?
I mean, Garbage Andy did win last week, so I'm thinking that his brain is just bigger than ours.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just something about that mulligan. I was like, oh, the hand doesn't look that bad. And in limited, we all know that mulliganing is not what you want to.
Sketchy at best.
Yeah. He looks very confident and laid back, so
yeah.
I would be scared.
I would not want to have his stream pulled up. Wait, I wouldn't want to be playing against him in his chill attitude.
Yes. Oh, nice. That might have. I believe that set the tempo. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Very interesting.
But we got this Pledge Mage that can fly.
Well, it has to have an instant or sorcery cast to fly, and currently Hunt for Specimen is only one in his hand. He does get to learn for a lesson.
What is Lash of Malice?
Is that an instant sorcery, but Hymnrack Go needs to have a creature out, or Garbage Andy wants to target Silver Quill Pledge Mage, which will only kill it. So it depends. And if Himrak Go has a creature with power or toughness 3 or greater, it's not good whatsoever. So, like here, it's perfectly fine. Gives it flying, gives it lifelink most likely because there won't be any other blockers. Gets in for 3.
I've read somewhere that blocking is for dummies.
I believe the correct term is math is for blockers, but
Oh, that
I
does
understand
sound
the
right.
sentiment. Yeah,
Math is for block, not blocking is for dummies.
yeah.
Okay.
I would get it messed up as well, though. That's all the same to me. So I wonder what Himrako is doing right now. He's hovering and looking and considering. So that means he has something he could cast.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no really interaction spells on green with 2 green mana, right? That will. I mean, there's no fog effects in this, so. What, you gonna pump your opponent's card?
Hmm. Oh boy.
It's not that bad. You have the eye twitch to, you know, die. You get to learn. Your thing
Yeah,
gets
but
flame.
iTwitch isn't gonna die anytime soon.
Why?
Unless you're gonna jump block with it.
Yeah, you're gonna chump block.
Oh, that's even better. That's what I was wondering. Is I was wondering what was in Garbage Andy's sideboard, and Necrotic Fumes is perfect here.
Yeah. You get rid of your thing. Get big.
The one play the slight thing that Garbage Andy could have done was do the Necrotic Fumes pre-combat and give Pledge Mage lifelink rather than flying.
Okay.
It literally only pads your life 3, but you never know when that's going to matter.
You could be up to 26.
Yeah. We saw him get up to 40 a couple games ago. Or maybe we didn't, but post
during the intermission
video.
after round 1. That's what happens if you watch live. You get to see a little bit more of the games happening.
Behind the scenes, as you could say.
Okay, so you block. You do some magic. Make that so it can't be blocked.
Get in for 4, down to 9. Take 3. And I guess hope Himrak doesn't have any good cards. I don't know. You see, like Garbage Andy's deck is very clearly aggressive, and he will suffer in long games. If you are playing against him in this deck, all you have to do is survive for 7 turns, get your lands out, get some creatures out, and make sure his deck does not get out of control. Himrat Go has not successfully done that yet.
Yeah, but he does have a lot of worm or pest tokens.
But if they're racing, the pests aren't going to gain life, and they're not going to beat the race. The 4 life he just gained with the Learn is very, very nice, and depending on what card he grabbed with it, could change the game. I don't remember exactly what it was, though.
It was Expand the Mind.
I believe that's Scry 2 draw 1?
No. Put two counters on a creature, and it gains something special to the end of the turn.
Vigilance, right?
Well, you're the one I'm quizzing. It's a lesson.
Oh, but the Strixhaven stadiums. Interesting. We all, but so Hymnrack Go is getting Strixhaven stadiums 2 counters a turn.
Why is he giving this unblockable? Is he just acting a
that
fool.
that was a bit of a weird unblockable, seeing as there's no blockers. This is interesting. This is a weird race.
It is definitely weird. Exile, draw a card. This stadium can get to 6 counters this turn. So kind of very scary.
Yeah, it can get to 6, but then 2 will be taken off. It'll go down to 4, then it will be able to get to 8, etc. Now it has a blocker and for the eye twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is definitely turning towards Hymnrackgo. It's not quite there yet, but I could see Hymnrackgo. I could see Hymnrackgo take it. It's not as favored as it was a couple of minutes ago, a couple turns ago.
I don't get this attack.
It is rather odd. If he blocks with the Spectre, he can Beaming Defiance, but then Leech is not going to be able to come down. Stadium goes to 5. Next turn, it will go up to 8, 9.
It could go up to a possible of 9, yes. But you can't. Well, you can attack out. But is it something that you want to do?
I think so. I think you want to attack all. I think your win con right now is Stadium, and currently Garbage Andy with another land off the top loses.
It's true.
And we don't know what's in Hymnrackgo's hand, and he has 4 cards there. We know one of them. So this is not over by any means. It's very interesting that the stadium is so important right here, because Garbage Andy's deck gains a lot of life.
This is actually a little bit good for Garbage Andy. If
Sacrificing?
exile target non-land permanent, so you can get rid of the stadium.
That's true. I bet Hymnrackgo right now is kicking himself. Because if next turn Garbage Andy had chumped with it, it would have been too late to use the reduce to memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting to note that Garbage Andy decided not to chump with it, even though the stadium was getting so close to winning the game.
It was probably because he has these Beaming Defiances, these pump spells. And I think we're going to see another pump.
We're seeing...
Or just
unblockable. And then I think next turn he's trying to go in for the kill with Beaming Defiance flying, if I had to guess.
Or you can just make it unblockable.
Yeah.
So we need a removal spell from Hymnrack, or he is gone in game number 1, where he came so close, but then decided to give his opponent the victory. That's what's very interesting about this format is learn in draft is so powerful if you draft right. You pretty much can get an answer to anything off of learn. And in this case, it kept Garbage Andy alive.
Yeah, and that was actually, I don't want to say it was a misplay on Himrat Go's part, but if Himrat Go had thought about every single possibility,
Mm.
I don't think he would have decided to use that sacrifice.
Um, yeah, I mean, you do have to have extensive knowledge of lessons. You do need to know what might be available. So to your opponent.
And this is the thing that I noticed about Garbage Andy last week is he picks a color combination and sticks with it. So you'll see in his sideboard, he has a lot of options that fit into his colors well that he can bring in against aggro control decks that are matchup specific, and that really does help out a lot. Um, I don't know if you noticed that, but I think that probably 10, 15 cards in his sideboard were black and white. So all of them slot into his deck. And if you notice, a lot of them had specific uses as well.
Mm. So we did see in the sorry, a little bit of ear itch. We did see in the second match against Hymnrackgomtg that Hymnrack does take to his sideboard. He does think about things. Um, Garbage Andy, I don't know what he's saying, but he just looks so happy and jolly right now, hanging out with his chat.
Two-time champ. What can you not be happy about?
Well, a possible a two-time champ.
Likely two-time champ.
I know that you tried to call it in the first, well, in the draft phase actually, but time will tell.
I like calling stuff extremely or early. Because
Is
if
that
you
why you
call
call me in the morning?
every morning, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. You got a wake up call from
Um,
Clausies.
because if you call it early, you have higher betting odds.
Oh,
If you wait,
did you bet on this on the internet gambling sports websites?
I tried to, but it wasn't listed. If you wait, it won't be as. I think the Subway Eat Fresh goal is for followers.
That would be hard since he has 3,000 followers.
What is it for, like new followers or something?
Maybe it could be subs. Get it? Subway, Eat Fresh, subscribers. Who knows?
That's a lot of subs.
420?
250 per month?
Well, when you're a great streamer,
Yeah.
people give you money to watch you stream.
Won't be me.
One day,
Not the giving money, but getting it.
one day, you know.
No, not happening. But that makes sense. The pun there makes sense. So we see an eye twitch and we see a Killian Ink Duelist. Himrat Go has had turn 1 and 2 turn 2 plays, which are very good.
And
But
this turn 3 is obviously going to be a stadium since it has just been so convenient to him this whole game.
could be. But Garbage Andy has what you call an absolutely beautiful hand.
Ooh, would you call it God tier?
Yes. Professor's Warning, Shadowing Lorette, and closing statement. You have a flyer, you have a indestructible, and you have a kill spell. I don't think there's too much more that you can ask for out of a deck, out of a hand, especially when you're trying to put early pressure on. I am interested in why the tap land was played instead of shadowing Laureate.
Well, maybe he just wants to make sure he can get this closing statement online. He did highlight it. So,
Doesn't Killian Ink Duelist make closing statement cheaper? I think it should reduce its cost by 2. And then on the end step, it also the closing statements is reduced by 2 or 3 as well, I believe.
so maybe you just have to get into the brain of Garbage Andy.
I think it was to leave out Professor's Warning. If I had to guess, it would be that he wanted to protect his Killian.
Interesting. I do think that well, what do you think about Professor Onyx? Does it seem like to you it's Angelina Jolie cosplaying as Liliana? Because that's what I see every time I look at the card.
Angelina Jolie. Let me look her up and then I can tell you.
Oh, I guess, yeah, she probably doesn't act anymore. I guess I'm getting to that age.
I feel like I recognize her from something, but not like know what she's from. Apparently, she got a divorce.
With Billy Bob Thornton?
I have no clue with who. She has some weird tattoos.
She does have tattoos.
Yeah, you're not wrong. She does. It does look like Professor Onyx.
Bam. Well, we got this Lash of Malice.
Like, yeah, the closing statement. It costs 2 less.
And now it has done its job. It's going to gain you life.
You know, as long as Andy's playing, I think I'm going to stick with Commentary.
Because you can't beat him?
He has some scary decks. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think that he is paying anyone to give him these great decks?
I have repeatedly offered to pay Sultan and Nowtex, and they haven't accepted my bribes. But I also don't have 250 subs kind of money. So
it's 251 subs.
Excuse me.
He's worked hard for him.
Yeah.
He works more for his money.
I don't like working, so
I know, it shows up in your ethics.
My ethics? Do I have ethics? I don't have ethics. Somebody told me about ethics in like, I don't know, some class sometimes, and I was like, that sounds like it makes life boring.
Did you call them a nerd and push them to the floor?
No. I just was like, that's weird, and then moved on with life.
Garbage Andy is saying, I want to play a spell. I want to Sam I Am.
I don't know what he wants to play here. It doesn't make sense to me. You don't want to get rid of the frog. I think the frog as a draw is more scary than the 1/1. Lash of Malice is going to take... Okay, it'll take the frog out.
I think what he's seeing is wanting to use his Professor's Warning to kill the other side of the board.
Yeah, makes sense. He has yet another combat trick. I don't think there's any big card that would punish him right now. The only one that might is if him had that 4 mana instant in Golgari that destroyed any creature and cost 2 less if you gained life.
It's true. It's true. That's true. That's true.
We do have to acknowledge that Hymnrackgo is still only at 16 life. So even though Andy has done a lot this game, has played a lot of cards, has attacked multiple times with creatures that are large and scary, and now has a sparring regime.
Sparring regimen.
Yeah. I was about to say Hymnrackgo is not looking too bad, but that sparring regimen.
It makes his duelist stay alive, staying alive, staying alive. And, and this combat professor can just get bigger, and bigger and bigger. But most important.
Interesting. Because he doesn't actually have a combat trick, so triple block on...
No, he does have a combat trick.
Oh, I forgot that triggered afterwards. I thought it was the... Yep. That should be close to GG's then. Unless Hymnrackgo can pull out like a board wipe or something. Crux of Fate is in the set. I don't know if it's in his deck, but...
Yeah, I guess we got to see... We do have some lifelink. Is it going to be enough?
Do we do interviews with the winner or no?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
On Saturdays, since these are going until probably 10:30, and it's a weekday instead of a weekend, not on my watch.
Makes sense.
Ooh, putting it on the iTwitch. Now I see why you wouldn't want to attack with the duelist, because you don't want these pests giving you life, giving your opponents life.
And also the croc with the lifelink.
Yeah. So
or he can win in the air, because now it's on Hymnrackgo to attack, and he'll just take the damage, and it doesn't matter to him one bit. So he's playing it out very intelligently, very slowly. There were a couple of openings for Hymnrackgo, but he didn't have the cards to take advantage of them, and I think that's really the story of this match.
And now Hymnrackgo, looking at his hand, trying to figure out, can I live? Do I want to live?
It's probably the best attack he has, but it doesn't mean it's good. Okay, a 2/3 in the air is better than nothing.
It's gonna die, most likely.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna die.
Although this duelist attacking puts an opponent up to 8 life. But it does trigger after it leaves the battlefield. So you need to win before the triggers resolve.
I know for a fact that Sultan has made that mistake several times.
And I guess it doesn't matter. Garbage Andy wins again 2 weeks in a row. If you're watching this on the YouTube, we do this every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to around 10 p.m. We also, and that is streamers drafting with each other, playing against each other. On Saturdays, we have curiosity tournaments. It's free to anyone who wants to sign up. Join our Discord for more. Information's in the information. And do you have anything to say before we disappear?
Anybody that's watching, if this is out before Saturday, the 1st of June, May,
May.
May, not June. I wish it was June. Anybody's watching, listen, I'm bringing the heat this season for Curiosity. Um, Nobody's gonna beat me. I'm gonna be the #1 seed again. I don't think I'm gonna do well during finals because it's a long day and I don't really care that much. But if you want to come and beat me during the season, come try it. It's a fun community, and you can try your hand at Curiosity against me. You know,
Nice.
what can I say? And also
Nice.
GG's, and thank you to everybody that came and played this week. It was a ton of fun to watch. I don't know if I'll play next week or commentate or anything next week. We will see. But regardless, I will be in the audience watching all of these streamers. And I'm not going to lie. Listen, I think I know a lot of Magic streamers, but I learned about a couple new ones today. And every week I learned about a couple new ones. So
Nice.
if you're looking for new streamers, you know, come say hi. If you are a streamer, come say hi. The Discord is for everybody.
Nice. I love that. So we'll just end on that. See you next week. And don't forget your books.